Good morning, thank you for joining me. It's a 2 cup of tea kind of a morning around here. I'm trying very hard not in the centre of the shot, am I? That doesn't help, does it? Right, that's better. I think I'm in the middle now. Sorry, the cat's having a sneezing fit now. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Maybe I should just give up now. As I was saying, 2 cup of tea kind of a morning. I am on my 2nd cup of tea because I'm desperately trying, despite the very cold weather, not to put the heating back on. It goes off at about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and trying not to put it on again yet because it's just about on 9:30 now and I'm very cold. So I'm layers today, all about the layers and hot cups of tea. Anyway, what are we doing here today? We are talking about ways to simplify your life. I was having a chat in the post office last week when I dropped off my parcels with the lady. I can't remember what it was in connection with or what started it, but I think it was somebody was posting a parcel and they were being bamboozled by all the options. Do you want first class, second class, track 24, special delivery, track 48, signed for? The poor woman was just like, oh my God, that's too many options. So that led to a conversation between the post office lady and myself about how complicated life seems to be these days. One would think with all the digitising and onlineness and everything that onlineness, not a word, Caroline, that life would be less complicated, but it seems to be more and more exponentially, increasingly complicated, doesn't it? That there seem to be so many options, and so I don't know, it just feels complicated. Or maybe that's a sign of aging. Either way, we all need to simplify our lives, and the beginning of the year, I think, is a time that we start thinking about how do we simplify? How do we get organised? And so today I have got, let me just count up because it gets 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have got 11 top tips on suggestions to simplify your life, to free up your time and free up your brain power, because I feel like all these complications and choices and stuff make our brains work too hard, and we need to have them freed up for other more fun things. See my hobbies video I made last week for the fun things. Today we're a bit more serious. Right, let's start. So number 1 is to do with cleaning your house. If you're anything like me, you have got a cupboard under your sink full, crammed full of various products, lots and lots of different products that do some of them pretty much the same thing. Last week I tidied out my cupboard under the sink and I got rid of quite a lot of stuff, and I have simplified by using an all-purpose surface cleaner for everywhere in the house. I don't need a separate one for my bathroom and my kitchen and then another one for everywhere else in the house. I am using an all-purpose cleaner, just one bottle. Similar with the washing machine, I'm using one product that incorporates a fabric softener and a washing liquid thing. I use the liquid tabs that have both in, and I don't need all these separate bottles of stuff. I've got a stain remover as well, which I spray on pre-wash, but I don't need multiple. I feel like advertising makes us think we need all these different things, and we just don't. We don't need all these different things. Number 2, let's look at food. That's another big area, I think, where we can definitely simplify. And we all know these things, we all know about them, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. But menu planning, shopping lists, batch cooking, meal prep, getting organised for the week ahead with a bit of a menu plan, doing your shopping list, whether you do your grocery shopping in store or online, having a list. This will save us money, this will save us headspace, that age-old question every day, what are we going to have for dinner today? For me, it also helps me think in advance, what have I got in the freezer that needs using up, what have I got in the fridge that needs using up, so I have less food going off. Definitely saves me money and time and stress. So yeah, all the things around food that we know we should be doing, let's start doing them. Number 3 is a virtual assistant. And before you all go, Caroline, what are you talking about? I can't have a virtual assistant. We've all got one inside our phone. I'm talking about Siri, or the one that begins with A, or Google Assistant, or whatever you use. I have really migrated in the last couple of years to using Siri for things like shopping lists, voice messaging, setting reminders on my phone, reminding myself about if I hear about a book I want to read or a film I want to watch, doing that. Honestly, it's so simple. Hey Siri, add baked beans to my shopping list.
Okay, I've added it.
Thank you. Just fine, rather than have it, you haven't always got a bit of paper to hand, have you, when you want to write something down? And so using, my phone is usually in the same room as me, so using that for all sorts of things has really made life a little bit simpler for me, and I do feel more organised. The other thing that I use it for is doing daily reminders to take my pills, and also to twice a week to change my HRT patch, because I always forget to do it on the right day. And just having those reminders set, and they flick up on my phone so they remind me to do it. That's something I've only implemented this year, and it's going really well so far. It's making me feel more organised. I don't need to be thinking constantly, oh, I must change my HRT patch. What day is it? Oh, have I taken my pills yet today? Because I get the reminder, I take my pills, I click on done, and it's all done until tomorrow. So I find that feature on my phone really useful, well worth getting into the habit of using it. Number 4 is emails. Oh, emails. I have a lot of emails. The main thing I do for simplifying emails is unsubscribing from things I don't need, which we should all do, but don't do as often as we should, do we? I'm very much like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to unsubscribe from that, because I do very occasionally, twice a year, use it. I mean, make your own decisions about that, but if you get overwhelmed by the deluge of emails coming into your inbox on a daily basis, then definitely consider unsubscribing. The other thing I do with emails, because there are a lot of things I need to keep but don't necessarily want to print out, for example, future travel plans or theatre tickets, things like that. I put things that I've ordered that haven't arrived yet, or things that I've returned that haven't been refunded yet. Just trying to think what else, but all sorts of things that we need to keep, things pertaining to insurances and that sort of thing. And so I have a filing system within my email. I have a file for orders, a file for anything that's pending, a file for future travel plans. So you can make your files to suit you, but really it's so I can keep my inbox as clear as possible, so I'm only looking at new things coming in, and I've moved everything else that I need to different files, so only the things that I need to deal with on a daily basis that are coming in, and I know I haven't dealt with them yet, and then I can shift them off. That didn't come across well. I think you know what I'm talking about though. I think I've given you the gist. Filing system, move the emails into that, then I can deal with the things that are coming into the inbox, rather than having hundreds of emails facing me every day that I think, oh, I don't want to delete that because I want to keep it. It's definitely worth taking the time to set up some sort of email filing system if you haven't done so. The next one is finances. I think we are all guilty of probably having that old savings account that has about £10 in it, but you ought to get round to closing it and you never done so, with a building society or a bank or whatever. Streamline your finances, get all those old accounts that you don't need emptied and closed. For me, having all my accounts on one app works really well. I can transfer money in between them if I need to, or indeed out of them. The other thing to think about is if you frequently transfer money, for example savings, automate that, make it into a regular payment that is automated by direct debit or standing order or whatever. If you do charity donations, again, same thing, automate them. But yeah, for me, most of my banking all in one place works really well. I've got 2 current accounts and 2 savings accounts, all in one app, all in one bank, and it just makes it far simpler to deal with on a daily basis. Number 6 is decluttering. We all know we should declutter. I think what became a, what's the word, a light bulb moment for me was realising that decluttering is never going to end. Decluttering is not something you do once and it's done. It's ongoing, isn't it? Because stuff comes in all the time. I think for me, a lot of stuff comes in due to my job, the eBay thing. I have a lot of stuff coming in and going out, but my own personal stuff as well, you know, does mount up again due to the YouTube thing. I'm very lucky I do get sent quite a lot of things, so again that's more stuff coming in. So decluttering for all of us is really important. Declutter regularly, donate regularly if you're going to donate stuff. Do not put stuff in a bag and go, I must take that to the charity shop, and then leave it in the hall for 7 months. I never do that. She says, having done that only recently, but I've made a vow to myself that once a bag is full, it is going to the charity shop. And so far this year, I'm doing okay with that. I realise it's only mid-January. There's plenty of time to fail. But yeah, just get on top of that decluttering. On that note, for my February 30-day challenge, I am going to do a decluttering challenge. I did a 1-day declutter last year, didn't I? Did I get rid of 100 items in a day or something like that? That video went down really well, so hopefully you'll like the February one, which will be at the end of, you'll see the video at the end of February. So if you need some declutter inspiration, look out for that. The next one, what number are we up to? 6, 7, 8, I think this is. I've managed to not put numbers on this page. Mail. Not email, real physical mail. I get far less physical mail these days than I used to, but there is still some of that junky stuff. Don't let it in the house is my top tip. My mailbox is at the end of the drive by the gate. I go down there, I sort through it as I walk back up the drive, and anything that is junk mail doesn't even make it to the house. It goes straight in the dustbin outside. That really helps in terms of not bringing it in, putting it in the bin, taking it out again. Saves a few steps, doesn't it? But also, where possible, with mail that's still coming in, do you need those bank statements? Maybe think about going paperless. Just think about ways to minimise the amount of paper coming into your house, because it will save you a job. The next one is to simplify your handbag. I have done this recently because I have been increasingly using a much smaller handbag. For years I've used a shoulder bag, a tote shoulder bag. Sorry about that, I turned my phone back on so I could make you hear Siri and forgot to turn it off again. For years I've had a tote shoulder bag, and I'm increasingly migrating to a smaller crossbody bag because I find them more comfortable to walk around with, and so I've simplified what I keep in my handbag. It's going to be different for everyone, isn't it? But I've recently had a big purse with all my cards in and lots of change, and just I thought the other day I don't need a purse this size, so I've bought myself a smaller purse with less room for change, because we usually get less cash these days, don't we? I still try and use cash where I can, but definitely along with everybody else, I am using less cash than I used to. But yeah, certainly worth going through your handbag and thinking, do I really need this in it? Because we're carrying this stuff around with us all the time, aren't we, as well? And the less you have in it, the easier it is to clean it out, clear out all the receipts and take anything out. I do that on a weekly basis, or try to do it on a weekly basis. So that, yeah, the less you've got in it, the less there is to go through when you want to sort it out. Now this next one, I've lost count of what number we're on now, is more about simplifying your death than your life. Excuse me for being morbid here, but it's going to happen to all of us, isn't it? We are all going to shuffle off this mortal coil at some point, and when we get to our age, we become a little bit more aware of our mortality. That having been said, I actually made this document that I'm going to talk to you about probably a decade ago originally. So this is a document that I created about a decade ago, and it's on my computer. It's called If I Die. I also email copies to the important people in my life, and it has been updated over the years. This is everything anybody would need to know if I dropped dead tomorrow. this is gonna be different for everybody. Ashley and I have completely separate finances. I've talked about that before. We don't have any joint accounts at all. So he would not be able to access my bank accounts if I died. So in here it's got all my passwords, all the information about all the different accounts, that sort of thing. It's got information about our utilities, who provides them, what the direct debits are, all that sort of stuff, who provides our internet access, how much that costs, and what do we pay every month. But we do share all the bills, I should probably add. It's just that I administrate most of them. I've also got a flat in Bournemouth that I let out, that I lived in before I lived with Ashley. This has got all the information pertaining to that, the buildings insurance and the rent that comes in every month. Cards, it's got stuff about my tax, it's got stuff about, what else has it got? Stuff pertaining to William, there's stuff about my car, it's got information about where all our important documents are, all that sort of thing. And as I said, I made this about a decade ago. I update it regularly, not as regularly as I should. I've currently got it out because I need to update it, but it's such a useful thing to have. It gave me real peace of mind when I made that, because I felt like, should I drop, you know, it's not something you're going to be thinking about if you suddenly get really ill, is it? On a similar note, while I'm talking about this, I have literally just watched Carla Jenkins, who on YouTube, what I got for Christmas video, and she got a book which sort of guides you through making a document like this. It was such a good idea. I've just ordered it from Amazon. It's sort of it's semi-serious but quite tongue-in-cheek as well. It has some sort of black humour around dying, which some people will find unacceptable, which is absolutely fine, but I just wanted to give you a bit of a trigger warning about that. I'll put a picture of it up here, but Carla sort of flicked through it in her video. You can go, as I said, her YouTube channel is Carla Jenkins. You can go and have a look if you are interested in it. But I'll pop a link for the book as well in the description box. I'll also show it in a video when it arrives, because I think it's such a good idea. So if you feel a bit like you wouldn't know where to start with one of these, that book, it's only about, I think it's £6.50 or something for the paperback version. That book it's a book that you fill in. It sort of guides you through the process. So yeah, if it feels a bit daunting to start one of these off without any guidance, the book might be just the thing you need. It also, I believe, gives you options to leave letters for your loved ones and stuff like that. And also, on a similar note to that, this is not an ad, however, I need to declare that I'm going to talk about my sister-in-law's business here, because I'm not being paid for it or anything. I haven't been asked to talk about it. But my sister-in-law has just launched a new website called Beyond Me, which is a sort of digital version of a very similar thing, whereby you can make emails and voice messages to send to into the future once you are no longer with us, and also enables you to write your life story that will become sort of a living memory online once you are no longer in this world. So that's worth a look as well. It's called Beyond Me. I will pop a link in the description box for that if you fancy doing this sort of thing digitally. Anything I link, I'll also put in a pinned comment at the top of the comment section, so for anyone who struggles to find the description box, just go to the top of the comment section below this video. My final way of simplifying and organising your life is possibly the most important. It is learn to say no. It is okay to say no. It is not selfish. It is absolutely okay to go, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I can take that on. That is not for me, thank you. And I have got better at this over the last couple of years. And do you know what? As you age, it's very freeing to be able to say no to things. People asking you to do things, people asking you to go places, you know, it's fine not to do everything. People asking you to take on more work. It's fine to say no, and it's fine to say no to anybody as long as you feel comfortable with a decision not to do whatever it is that's being asked of you. Also, you can Google polite ways to say no to things, and there's loads of suggestions of how to word it. If you're struggling with a nice way to word it, Google is your friend, or ChatGPT, that works as well. Anyway, that's it from me. Nothing groundbreaking here, I don't think, but just a general reminder for the things that we can do that will enhance our lives and simplify that endless decision making and things to do, and perhaps give us some peace of mind as well, which is really what we're all looking for, isn't it, at the end of the day? Hope you found this one useful. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.